Have you ever felt like a pawn in someone else's game? A powerless spectator in the story of your own life, caught in the gears of a system so vast and indifferent, you feel completely invisible? We have all felt that chilling sense of insignificance, the fear that our choices don't matter and our voice cannot possibly make a difference. But what if I told you that the most powerful moments in history are often ignited by the quiet courage of a single, seemingly insignificant person? What if your current position, the one that feels like a prison or a mistake, is actually the precise platform for your greatest purpose? Today, we journey into one of the most thrilling, suspenseful, and inspiring stories in the entire Bible. It's a high stakes drama of political intrigue, hidden identities, and a genocidal plot set in the heart of the world's most powerful empire. But at its center is not a king or a general, but a young orphan girl who is thrust into a world of unimaginable luxury and deadly danger. This is the story of Esther, the queen who had to risk everything she had to save everyone she loved. It is a timeless testament to the fact that God places ordinary people in extraordinary positions for such a time as this. Our story begins in the opulent, glittering court of the Persian Empire, ruled by the powerful and unpredictable King Xerxes. In the capital city of Susa, a young Jewish girl named Hadassah is living as an orphan, raised by her older cousin, Mordecai. She is beautiful, but she is also a member of an exiled minority, living under the shadow of a foreign power. Her identity is a secret, a vulnerability that she must keep hidden. Through a strange and dramatic turn of events, the king deposes his queen and launches a search for a new one from all the beautiful young women in his vast empire. And Hadassah, now known by her Persian name, Esther, is chosen. From the quiet obscurity of an orphan's life, she is suddenly swept into the dazzling, but treacherous, world of the royal palace. She wins the king's favor and is crowned queen of Persia. On the surface, it's a fairy tale. An orphan girl becomes a queen. But her crown was not a prize, it was a post. Her palace was not a home, it was a battlefield in disguise. Meanwhile, a wicked and arrogant man named Haman rises to become the king's most trusted advisor. He is a man consumed by pride. And when Mordecai, Esther's cousin, refuses to bow down to him, Haman's wounded ego metastasizes into a genocidal rage. He doesn't just want to punish Mordecai, he wants to annihilate his entire people. He manipulates the king, deceives him with lies, and gets the official decree signed and sealed with the king's ring. On a specific day, all Jewish people throughout the Persian Empire, men, women, and children, are to be utterly destroyed. The decree is irreversible. The date is set. A shadow of death falls over a whole nation, and no one, not even the king, knows that the queen herself, Queen Esther, is one of them. When Mordecai learns of the plot, he sends a message to Esther, begging her to go before the king and plead for her people. But this was not a simple request. It was a death sentence. There was an unbreakable law in the Persian court. Anyone who approached the king in his inner court without being summoned would be put to death instantly, unless the king extended his golden scepter. And the king had not summoned Esther in 30 days. Esther is terrified. She is a queen, but she is also a prisoner of the system. She sends a message back, explaining the danger. If I go, I will die. And it is here that Mordecai speaks the words that change everything. The words that pivot the story from a tale of survival to a saga of divine purpose. He tells her, "Do not think that because you are in the king's house you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" For such a time as this. Those words echo across the centuries. They are a profound challenge to our own fears and our own excuses. Mordecai is telling Esther, your crown is not for you. Your position is not for your comfort. Your privilege is not for your protection. It is all for this moment. This is your purpose. Have you ever had a "for such a time as this" moment? A situation where you knew you were placed exactly where you were for a reason, even if it required immense courage? Share your story in the comments. In that moment, everything changes for Esther. The fearful orphan dies, and a courageous queen is born. She sends her reply to Mordecai, a statement of pure, resolute faith. Go, gather together all the Jews who are in Susa, and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. If I perish, I perish. This is the sound of surrender. This is the sound of courage. This is the sound of a woman who has decided that her purpose is more important than her life. After 3 days of fasting and prayer, Esther puts on her royal robes and stands in the inner court of the king's palace. She is risking everything. The guards could strike her down at any moment, but the king sees her, and instead of anger, his heart is moved. He extends the golden scepter. Her life is spared. But she doesn't blurt out her request. She is wise. She is strategic. She invites the king and the wicked Haman to a banquet, and then to a second banquet. She uses her position not just with courage, but with brilliant patience, waiting for the perfect moment. And at that second banquet, with Haman sitting there, drunk on his own arrogance, Esther reveals her identity and exposes his genocidal plot. The king is enraged. Haman's evil is brought into the light, and he is executed on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. And through Esther's courage, the Jewish people are saved. The story of Esther is a masterpiece of divine providence. It is a story where God is never mentioned by name, yet his fingerprints are all over every single detail. He works silently behind the scenes, positioning an orphan girl on a throne, arranging events, turning the evil plans of the wicked back on themselves, and using the courageous obedience of one person to save a nation. This is not just Esther's story. It is your story. You may not be in a royal palace, but you are in a position of purpose. The circumstances of your life, the job you have, the relationships you are in, the challenges you face, none of it is an accident. You have been placed where you are, with your unique gifts and your unique story, for such a time as this. Your courage has the power to change the world for someone. Your willingness to speak up, to stand for what is right, to act in faith even when it is terrifying, can be the very thing that brings deliverance and hope into a desperate situation. Do not believe the lie of your own insignificance. An orphan girl from an exiled people saved a nation. What can God do through you? If this story of incredible courage has inspired you today, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more powerful journeys through the Bible. Because we are all called to live with the faith of a queen, ready to say, "Here I am, Lord. I will go, and if I perish, I perish."